here I am, back in the Liverpool top. Um, it's what I'm wearing to sleep in tonight. I say tonight, it's 1:45 in the morning. Now, I really should be in bed. I should have been in bed before I started this race. Um, it's been a long weekend. But like, I have to be a man of my word. I said if people kept turning up for these European time zone races to make them go official, that what I would do is ask or volunteer or remind people to ask for me to stream the race if they were in it. So here we are. Um, third race I've run this week, I think. Um, third race that I've started on the pole, which I'm kind of pleased with, but third race where I've really not felt 100% on top of the car and comfortable. So again, I didn't actually finish the first lap lead. I don't think I finished the first couple of turns leading, but hey ho. I was having a really good race as well. As you can see, a really good sized field when I first of all clicked join. I didn't expect that there'd be more than 6 cars starting, and you see we had 11 cars take the grid, and considering the race started at 2:15 Sunday morning here, GMT, that's quite a good turnout. So in the race you see scrolling across the top, so it should be around here, the iRacing ticker, if you've not seen it before, if you're new to iRacing. You see that Noel Lundberg stole the whole, well, got the whole shot on me. Number 1 car, so that's where you should be really. I was holding on to second place, doing quite well. Jake Blackhall was chasing me down. A teammate Arnulf Kohler started this race, so I was hoping that Arnulf would have a good run as well. Need to get him to get the team paint on his car. Luke Powell, Luke really put me under pressure throughout the whole first 2/3 of the race. Jake putting him under pressure. Look at that. See, that's what you want to see. That's what the V8s give you. If you've not tried driving, look at that. Nose to tail, a little bit of tapping, hard racing, big heavy car. Go on, is he going to make the move? No. See, respect. So yeah, Luke was chasing me down. Arnulf had pulled Chekuti behind him. Sean Goodland was holding on to 7th at this point. Chris Bean raced a lot against Chris. Not quite as much recently, but Chris is a really great guy. Jared O'Connor, Brett Leslie and Jay Dewing rounding out the field. As you'll see as the race goes on, Chris, I think, has a moment with Arnulf, which is unfortunate, but it happens here. The track is so tight. There's only one line, really. A couple of opportunities to overtake, as I mentioned in one of the earlier videos so far from this week. So they must have had a coming together somewhere. But Chris is a really good guy. He's a really good, clean racer. I remember having a race with him back earlier in the year at Bathurst. If you're watching this back, Chris, and you remember, actually it might have been 2013, and it's probably one of the best races I did in 2013. I was quite shocked that I was able to maintain a 2-second gap to him, but he was, though, really gracious. Competitor gave me like a well done at the end of the race, and I've always looked out for him in the standings to see what kind of times he's running, so I can kind of gauge if I'm improving or not, if I can keep maintaining a bit of a gap to him in the standings, and I mean in the times, really, rather than actually the points. I don't pay much attention to the points. Then I know that I'm making some improvements, so I'm using him a bit as a benchmark, and I do that a lot with a lot of drivers in the field. I'll look out for the ones who I know about a second faster than me or half a second faster than me, and rather than focus on the top of the timesheets, I try to maintain a gap to the guys I have in my studied list or take a tenth off them. So this was a really, really good race. What I also love about this series is a lot of the teams, a lot of the drivers put a lot of thought into the paints they're on in their car. Kentucky Fried Chicken, gotta be kidding, that's brilliant. And because it's a car that takes a lot of dedication, you find that the drivers that run this series can be very passionate about it, very protective about it. So I know that this week in the forums there's a bit of a debate about whether or not Oran Park should have started off the new season. Ooh, that's always a possibility going into that. And you'll see later on as the race goes on, I fly off the track there as well. The car's doing so much through there, trying to scrub off so much speed. It's loaded up on the right, unloaded on the left. You're trying to brake, trying to turn, and it doesn't like doing all of those things together. So yeah, I was hoping that I could maintain that first position, starting on the pole, or at least come home second. I wasn't sure what the strength of field was, so far this week I've got a second place finish, I think, 100 points. And what was more important to me was that I tried to redress the race earlier where I was so inconsistent. My lap times are up and down all over the place, and I hate that. I like to lap within 2-3 tenths of myself every single lap, and it was a really bad one. So this race, what I wanted to do was be clean and pretty much just discipline myself to 2 seconds. Okay, just thought someone was knocking my door. But yeah, discipline myself to run the race, because I tried running some practice laps in a qualifying session earlier to get back in the groove and get to that point where I'm racing actually, where I'm actually racing, I'm actually nailing my apexes, spotting my braking zones and getting on the power confidently, rather than what I've done this race and the race before, which was drive. I was driving. I may as well have put Miss Daisy in the back. But what I found every single race so far this week at Oran Park is, whereas normally at other tracks you've got time to think, you've got time to free up some of your mental capacity, so you don't have to be 100% focused on your line, focused on the track in front of you. You can check your gauges, you can check your black boxes, whereas here, focused right down the nose of the car, looking at my braking points, looking at the apexes, so much so that whereas at another track you can glance away and it's fine, you've got time, the car's not going to do anything silly. This track undulates so much. The topography, there's so much camber change, there's undulations, so just to glance left or right or in the mirror means that the car's moved and you're just as likely to spin out. So whereas having someone like this right on the back of you, normally you can hear it, you can feel it, you can see it, you check, you can see the time on the relative swing coming down, and you can lose concentration and make stupid mistakes here, I should say. I didn't have time to look down, so I knew that Luke was there, then later I knew that Chris was there, but the fact the track is so difficult actually helps you just concentrate on your own race. You haven't got time to worry about the car behind. And what was really good about this race, even though I gave up 2 spots, was racing, first of all, both Luke and then racing Chris. I've really got to say thank you to them, because there were a couple of moments where I think I had internet issues, and it's always difficult for the Australian guys racing on the Australian server to race us international drivers. There aren't that many international drivers that that race in the V8 series, there's a lot more now that we've got the new Holden and the new Ford, but other than that, you really had to have commitment to the car, and it takes a while for the regular drivers to get a good understanding of what your connection's like, um, whether or not there's going to be a netcode coming together, whether or not you're clean, whether or not you can drive the car smoothly rather than ragged. And there were a few moments where I got a bit ragged. So right now, having Luke 2 tenths, 3 tenths off the back of me, I've got to say a huge thank you, because there are many guys who probably would have just launched the car and got impatient, but the track's so tight, so twisty, that, see, right there, he got on the brakes before me because he was just showing that respect and giving me space. So again, got to say thank you. And that GTI paint is wicked. I like that. Just whoever painted that did a really good job. Got to say again thanks to Bailey Bell. Ooh, look at that. Got to say thanks to Bailey Bell for painting the Blue Flag Racing car. Love that one as well. You saw Luke there, he tried to get a bit greedy, and the car won't let you do that. It won't let you just stamp the throttle down. So what he was trying to do is get on the power a little bit more, get a good run down the straight, because it's so difficult here to pass, that if you could get that draft slipstream, I'm a European driver, why am I calling it a draft? If he could get that slipstream, then hopefully he could make the move he eventually makes later on, where get his nose on the inside down to the run-in to turn one, and hope that the guy he's racing will give him the space. And unfortunately, as you'll see, I not only give him the space, I give him the whole track, because too much happens. I get the call, I'm only running on one screen, so I can't see how close he is or isn't. The spotter then didn't give me the call to say that he was clear, and I ended up just giving him far too much space, missing the apex, looking up and seeing that Noel had gone off the track, and just looking up, I missed my track out point, ended up off the track, and then had to concentrate, because I think I put the right rear off and the car just came round, had to try and make sure I didn't hit anyone, ended up sliding off the track, and I don't know, the right hand side of the car, I've got no idea what it looked like at the end of the race, but it met the safer barrier. Yeah, I'm calling it a safer barrier. This track doesn't even really exist, so it's tyres right now, but since it's now a housing development complex, I think I can call it a safer barrier. I didn't realise that it was another GTI car. It's a really nice paint. But yeah, you can see Arnold's down in 10th now, so, and Chris did apologise at the end of the race. I'm not sure what happened between them, but you know, it's all fair in love and war. That really scared me when I came round there. As you come through that turn, as you go over the rise, the apex is blind, you can't actually see it. So you've got to approach it like the top of Radion out of Eau Rouge. So you line the car up for where you know the apex is going to be, rather than where you actually see it. And so the spotter was calling all through the last 2 turns there. Car up on the left, car off on the track, and the track's so narrow, you've no idea where the car is. So I came across the rise and all I saw was smoke. Fortunately, in there, you can just lift off, just coast down there, because there's no real space to get on the throttle, and no real opportunity for the guy behind to do anything. Plus, he'll be getting the same call. So it's that whole honour the threat. You hear the call, you see the smoke, don't do anything stupid. See, now here, this was a great moment, because 2 years ago, and when I first started racing the car properly, I raced it when it first came out in iRacing, but it was no good, so I went and raced the Corvette instead. But when I came back 2 years ago, what I would have done in situations like that is I got the call, lifted off, let the guy have the position. However, just knowing where the car needs to be through that section, and because lap after lap Luke had been so cautious, I knew that as long as I just held my line, and as long that must have scared him. See, See, see how long there's no other cars on the track. Yeah. So sorry everybody, got no idea what happened there. I'm apologising for the internet, like I can control it. But it threw me off. See that apex, I missed it completely because I had a bit of a graphic stutter there as well, and all through here I was overcompensating, trying not to give Luke any sniff of an opportunity. But as I said the last time around here, I just made sure I just was on that apex, so Luke had to back out. Some people wouldn't have, but he did, so fair play to Luke there. I think this is where he actually gets me. And to be fair, probably at the back of my mind, I thought, well, he gave me the space. No, it's not this lap. Yes. So I was like, he gave me the space. So when he got his nose on the inside, it was only fair that I yielded and gave him the position. Well, that's what was going through my head. What actually happened, you'll see. I would say it's a spoiler, but it's not much of a spoiler. I've already told you I go off. But I managed to come back and finish in third as well, so I was quite happy with that. Hi Luga UK. Sorry that you're watching. As you can see across there, it's a race recap. This race actually started, what time is it now? 2 AM, so it started 1 hour 45 minutes ago. 39 laps down here, so it's about a 45 minute race. But in case you weren't there at the beginning of the stream, I kind of made a commitment to the rest of the guys in the V8 field that if the European races go official and I'm in the race, if anyone asks, I will restream the race and do a recap video. Well, I didn't say I'd do a recap with commentary, but since the overlay set up with the webcam and people see the stream go official and start watching, I just figured if I'm not in here saying anything, it's a bit boring for people. So thanks for watching. I don't know if you race in iRacing. If not, thanks for watching even more. If it's just that you like watching it, you'll hopefully hit subscribe on any of these, or all of them actually, please, if you don't mind, all of those social media links. But most definitely if you follow this page on Twitch, then every time I'm in a race I'll stream it. Got a few ideas on how we can make it a little bit more interactive as well, but normally I would have streamed straight out of my graphics card NVIDIA GeForce using Shadowplay, so there would have been no overlays. I'm still figuring out how to use OBS and get all of this working, so if you see anything and you think it could change, speaking of see anything, I just realised I've got something missing. Where are we? Yeah. I don't know how I turned that off. But yeah, as you'll see, this is behind the wheel of Blue Flag Racing. Across the right, Kimmy's Raw Fencing. They're the company that have sponsored us a few times during our existence in the V8. But yeah, this was a really good race. If it wasn't 2 AM, I'd have gone and taken a shower because at the end of it, I was sweating. The camera's set on follow the most exciting action, so when you see it jumping around, it's because something's going on track. This, I have to admit, was huge fun. And this is what I'm trying to get out of my iRacing this year. Year's almost over, but for 2015 as well, when iRacing made the change to the calendar and shortened season 4 to a 6-week season and week 7 down week, or a lot of the times up there, the thing I decided to do was just use that 6-week season as one to get to grips with the new Holden, because with the first race I did in it was the V8s Online in conjunction with Oceanic Sim Racing's Race of Champions, which was the final race in the V8s Online's Supercars Premier Series. and I just hadn't figured out the new car yet. So whereas I'd qualified either for the main Premier Series race or the Development Series race every round in the inaugural pilot season, I didn't qualify the car for the Bathurst race, um, and I was really disappointed. It would have been a great opportunity to race the car with my teammate um, Robert Hooper, but because I hadn't figured out little things like on this tyre model, the Holden doesn't need that slow outlap because the tyres aren't fastest on the outlap. It's just like any of the other cars on the new tyre model where actually you need to warm them up, get the pressures up. And I didn't realise, so I spent the whole day of pre-qualifying, and being again a European driver, could only make the one session. Um, Unless I'm on holiday, it's my day off. I can't race during the day during the week, so Saturday was the only opportunity. So I didn't have enough time to figure out, and I hadn't seen any notes in the form from any of the other drivers to say that actually no, the car now needs you to warm the tyres up. The fastest lap isn't the first one out of the pits. It wasn't until I'd failed to qualify and I was watching the top 15 shootout back on V8's online stream that I saw the guys braking hard on their outlaps to warm the tyres up, and that's when it hit me. If I'd have just kept running 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive laps, I would have made it in. But after that, I decided that because because I wanted to get back up to speed for this season and the season after. Yeah, Luca, you're right, it is really hard to drive, but it's really, really rewarding. Um, that's why, as I'm saying, I took the decision that for the 6-week short season at the end of the year, I would pay no attention to my iRacing, no attention to my safety rating, and no attention to the points you get from the races, just to race every single V8 race that went official, to get comfortable and confident in the car. And I think that's where I am now. Don't let this race be any sort of indicator. Although when I think about my lap times, considering my qualifying times are 106.9, normally my race pace is about a second off that, half a second, then a second off it. So the low 108s isn't that bad. I'm not giving myself any credit. You see here, I give them far too much zoom, and then they're off and all around. And just at that moment, Noel had gone off. That was my opportunity to take the lead. And since I was able to hold my position in front of Luke and hold my position in front of Chris, if I'd have got the lead, I'd have been able to hold my position. This is the second race this week I could have won. But the V8, you'll love it. If you pop, tell you what you can do. If you go onto the forum and send me a friend request, and then if you see across the bottom, if you like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter at Blue Flag Racing, and then send us a message, either a private message on Facebook or just post onto our wall, or send us a tweet. Then if you need some help to get up to speed in the V8, we're more than happy to help. We're not the fastest team out there, but everyone in the series tries to help new guys to the car, whether it's guys, girls, dogs, cats, because we really don't want people to give up on it. The car is hard, but it's really, really rewarding. What you need to do is be gentle with it. I tell people that what they need to do is treat the car like a pet tiger. You can't have a pet tiger. You can pat it and stroke it as much as you like, but if you're not nice to it, it'll rip your head off, and that's what this car will do. If you're not nice to it, you'll end up in the wall. So you do everything and give the car high AO Chucky, or is that AOT Rocky? But yeah, you try and give the car as much advance notice as possible. Yep, no problems. Yeah, I would love to have triple monitors. I'm racing on a 37-inch HD TV instead. Um, the reason I'm looking so relaxed is because I actually race sitting on my bed as well. This is my bed. It's crazy, isn't it? This is the wall beside my bed, but it works for me. Um, but yeah, do everything with the car way in advance. So if you're going to brake, whereas on a GT car or a high downforce car, you can go into that braking zone. You look at the braking markers, whether it's cones or the meter balls, and you normally go into this the last, I should say, braking marker. You go past the 300, past the 200, get to the 100, and then brake, or you get to the 50-meter order, you stamp on the brake. You can't do that in this car. I normally start braking at or before the very first braking marker to give all of the inertia in the car time to settle down so it can do it all in a straight line. If you drive the Lotus 49 and you know how you drive it, you do everything mentally ahead. So when you start to squeeze the brake, you never jam it because you know that the suspension travel is going to throw the car around. So you do it slowly and you brake and you know the weight's going to move forward and it's going to compress the springs. So you do it slowly, let the car there bound, and then you slowly apply the throttle. And you do that like, you know, those games you have with the little ball bearing and you try and get them around the maze. Imagine you've got a little ball bearing in the passenger seat and you're trying to get it through the maze without it hitting the outside wall. You have to manage the weight in this car, and if you can drive the Lotus 49, when you come back to this car, it actually seems easier. I find that the reason you might find this harder than the Lotus 49 is because mentally, in the Lotus 49, you don't take any liberties. You respect the car 100%, and everything you think is slower. Because it's bouncing around and you'll get that oversteer, understeer, oversteer, understeer. Whereas in this car, you look at it and you think actually it should be really easy to drive it. It's a big, heavy saloon car, but it's got loads of power, no brakes, skinny tyres. So if you treat it like the Lotus 49, all of a sudden you find time. So you can carry apex speed. You can trail brake a little bit, but you don't want to jam your foot to the floor. You don't want to drive it like a GT car. I had absolute fun in this race, and if you watch the race later on Facebook, not Facebook, yeah, on Facebook, we'll put the video on Facebook. But later, the in-car coverage where I was actually racing live, so you've got the in-car coverage from my cockpit. You'll also see, which way am I pointing? You'll also see down here the steering inputs, and you'll see the brake and throttle inputs, and there's the great tool that comes with the OBS apps where you've got the G-force meter, and you'll see how you slowly apply the throttle, you slowly apply the brakes. If you want a lot of help with the car, go in the forums, join the Oceanic Sim Racing Development Series. Those guys are brilliant. Marty Atkins, Simon Black. What they do is they set up a series, it's hosted races. They let the first week of the season go by, and then they set up the race ahead of the next week, so you get a week racing the track that's going to be run the next week. They put a fixed setup in there, so everyone's got the same setup and everyone just concentrates on driving the car rather than trying to get that super setup. And they'll help you with lines, with braking points. They'll help you get a good understanding of the car. If not them, then ask the guys in the forum if you see any of the 4 Motorsports guys, Mitchell McLeod, they've got a thread, and I haven't seen them update it recently. I think real world events have taken them by storm at the moment, but they are a top split team. Sorry, Mitchell McLeod, say V8 Supercars champion on iRacing, and what they do is they will just put the setup that they're running for the week, so they won't put out a lemon, they'll put out the setup they're running for the week, and they'll also do like a track guide. Ryan Shelton, he's doing a lot for the community this season. He's every week putting up a thread that will give you the rundown on the upcoming track, so like fuel loads and gear ratios to run and that sort of stuff. If you ask any of those guys, they'll help you. The SDC Motorsports guys are really helpful as well. They'll share their sets, but also their knowledge. If you bump into guys like Marty Carroll on the server, he'll help you out. If he sees you putting in the time of practice, he'll help you out. I mean, he really surprised me. He's a really great guy. I remember it was probably 2013. One of my best moments in the V8s was racing. I got into the top split race on a Sunday, and I was racing at Mid-Ohio, and Marty was doing this, closing me down, and he got the move on me, thinking to turn 2, the hairpin, but I just had so much fun because those guys race hard. They're fair, but they race hard, and that's the aim. The aim is to get on top of the car to the point where you can race them and they can race you, and everybody has that mutual understanding that you're in control of your car, so I can put pressure on you and I can push you in the apex. But Marty, I think he saw me on track a few weeks ago, and he just said, if I needed any help, just to ask him, because he'd noticed that I put in the time, I put in the laps to get comfortable and confident in the car, and that's what they want to see. So it's not a snobby thing, it's not a cliquey thing, it's not a pretentious thing, it's just the car's not easy, as you've said. So when people see that you're trying to improve and you're trying to get on top of the car and you're not giving up, they will help you because they want to see the series grow as well. You can also Sam Sutton, he's a great guy as well. I haven't really spoke to Sam much, but twice now, at least, or 3 times, been in a session with Sam, and he's just shared his set as well. So ahead of the Race of Champions, considering the prestige and what was on the line there, Sam was just in there, and because people were trying their hardest to get to speed, and he was that confident of what, that was scary. Oh, that was a real shame for Jake, sorry. That was a real shame. But yeah, Sam just shared his set, and this season went back to Bathurst, and I tried his set out, and I couldn't drive it before, but this time around, because I'd spent more time in the car, it was really a really good set. I mean, this week, Madison Dow, again, multiple times he's won this championship. I think he's won it 8 times or 9 times. The man's just a legend. But he's not, see, that's how fair Chris was. That was probably my fault. I didn't get on the power properly. I had a bit of a slide, so I hesitated. And because lap after lap after lap, Chris knew where I was going to get on the gas. He was just anticipating that, so he got on the gas, gave me a tap. But, again, just because he's such a great guy, rather than keep his foot in, like many people would. I'm not going to comment, but not necessarily in this series, but in others. Instead, what he did was he lifted off to give me time to get back in control of my car. And it was like, if you watch Firefox with Clint Eastwood, when the test pilot comes up on Clint and he has that blackout moment, and he just backs off from the fight because it's not fair to take the shot whilst he's not in control. So he backs off from the fight, lets him recover, gives him a thumbs up, and as soon as he goes, yeah, I'm alright now, he goes, okay, good, now I'm going to kill you. And that's exactly what Chris did. Chris let me get back in control of the car. Once he saw that I was, it's like, okay, neutral corners, now ding ding, let's get back on. And he pushed me really hard. If he had taken the place, I wouldn't have been disappointed because the racing was fun. But again, so Madison this week, sorry, I almost forgot to finish my point. He, to help people out, just to again help people understand. It sounds like a cliche, or it's too good to be true, or it's just people not wanting to share. But in this car, look, Chris trying to get my attention. If you're watching this back, Chris, I'll be honest with you. I didn't have enough time to be looking in my mirrors to see you do that. It was only at the peripheral vision that I saw you just trying to make me miss my breaking point. Are you kidding? I was having enough trouble just concentrating. That was not going to work, not this race. But anyway, yeah, Madison, just to help everybody, took the baseline set, made a few tweaks, set a 105 of it, put it in the forum, said there you go, use that. And that's the kind of respect you can get in the V8 series. People fall out, of course they do. It's racing, and it might only be virtual racing, but everybody in this race, so all the names running across over here, have put in hours to get this car around this track 39 times. So when it doesn't work out, when the adrenaline starts flowing, yeah, people fall out, of course they do. But you know, it's a simulation. It's not real life. No one got hurt. No one's lost any money. So at the end, people will kiss and make up, and if they don't, life's too short. Who cares? What's what? There's no time for drama. So you might get a few people that will fall out, but hey, for the most part, the rest of us will just move on. So what they're trying to do is just help people understand that the most important thing you can need to do in this car, first and foremost, is figure it out. Figure out how it understeers, figure out when it oversteers, figure out what to do with the brake pedal, figure out how to get on the gas, figure out simple things like keep the steering as straight as you possibly can so the tyres aren't having to do two things because they don't like it on this car. If you ask someone in the forums for help, they'll help you. If you're on track, you ask them for help, they'll help you. If you ask them for help, they'll likely share a setup with you. If, however, you jump into the session and on lap one you go, this car's sorry, this is going to be PG, so this car is shocking. Everyone in this series gets precious about the car because they love it. So they're going to first of all think that you're being a bit of a jerk, and that attitude won't help. They will still help you, but first of all they'll rebuke you for not accepting it's not the car, it's your right foot. You can't drive it like the others. After that, if you just say, can you help? Give me some pointers. They'll likely then give you a setup. So don't run around saying, please give me a setup. Run around and say, please can you help me? You'll then be surprised how many setups come your way. Or you can look up Apex Racing UK. They have an academy on their forums, so I'm in that academy, subscribe to it, $5 a month. And their drivers, their World Championship drivers, are really fast and talented. They'll just give you loads of help. And they'll also share the setups they're running that week in whichever series they're running. Even if it's the Pro Series or the World Championship Series, they'll share their sets with their academy drivers. So Trevor Johnson runs the V8s. He's not running it so much right now. He's in the World Sports Cars Championship, but he's a really great guy. He's really good in the V8. If you see him around, ask him for help. He'll help you as well. If you're driving the GT cars, great, but don't jump straight into this. Give it some time. You'll figure out that the cars don't drive the same. So 4 laps left. By this time I was sweating. By this time Chris was probably thinking, come on Mark, make that mistake, I know you want to. When you look at it here and you look at the replay, it looks like, you know, the car looks so stable. It must drive just like a GT. But right there, you see, that was just me just squeezing the throttle a little too quickly, too hard, with the steering two two on um, 2 on. You can tell it's now 2:30 in the morning. I can't even speak. But I did too many things. I had too many inputs, control inputs into the car at that one time, and the tyres just went no. Now, what's really good about this car, the new build um, V8, is it will let you save a slide like that. It will let you save an oversteer moment. The old car would have pitched you off the track. Um, And that's another good thing about the series this season. We got a lot of new drivers come into the series, and some probably came back because we got the Holden. It was a new car, but a few weeks later we've got the new Ford as well. And yes, it's a new Ford. I'm not going to repeat myself. I see loads and loads of people come into the forums and say, "Why do I have to buy the Ford against the same car?" It's not. Let's just move on. But anyway, because now there's a Ford and a Holden, it's it's brought the series alive a little bit more, because that Ford Holden Championship has come to iRacing. So I do think the 2015 series is going to be really exciting. The V8 Supercar series, the proper series, not this pilot series that happened this year, will be coming in early 2015. So I really can't wait for that. The V8s Online guys are brilliant, and I'm afraid I'm going to overlook someone when I recommend who you should hit up for help. But if you see Jay Kennedy in the forums as well, say hi to him, ask him anything you want to ask. He and Steve Sandman Clark do a video blog for the V8s called Short Shift. It's a really good program, and they've got a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge about the car as well. If you see the guys from, what team is it? Well, you've got Demidov as one of the sponsors, but they're Evolution Racing now. Brenton O'Brien's team with like Aaron Hamilton, Ian Ford. There's some really great drivers as well. Ask them for help if you need any help. You've also got all the guys at TTR. There's just a really good bunch of people. One of the things you can do, and I know I've done it a lot, is just sit on board in some sessions and just watch how people take their lines, watch how they approach it. Definitely should give the V8s another shot, Luger. Definitely. You see it right there. Go subscribe to our YouTube page. You can go to our Facebook, hit like. There's loads of videos on there, and pick up one of the videos from our YouTube page. Subscribe to the YouTube page, because every single time I do a race, I will stream it from my cockpit, so you can see all of my inputs. But then also, if I'm not racing and one of my teammates is racing, whether it's GT car or any other league, then what I'll do is I'll stream their race from their cockpit as well. But then also what you'll see on our YouTube page, there's all of the featured teams pages as well, and you can go and see their videos, because you can really pick up a lot just by watching a lot of the onboards. Every single week, Evolution Racing put a hot lap in the forums as well. I think it's Bo Kubis that did the laps at the beginning of the season, but I think Bo may now have signed with another team. I can't remember. I've lost track. Definitely give it a chance. It's one of those cars that, for me, I don't know about anyone else, but for me, I can't jump from car to car to car to car. I need to do hundreds of laps to get to the point where I feel as though I'm in control of it. So if you jump from one car to the other and you can manage that, fine. But if you're anything like me and you need to commit to one car, pick the V8. It has more races going official at the moment than it did before, so there's a lot more opportunity to get races go official. But if you can drive the V8 and feel comfortable and confident, you really won't want to go back to driving the GT cars. They are great, they're really good, but for me, they're lazier. You have to be really talented to get up to the top splits in those cars. So don't get me wrong, you have to be really talented, but you can just put your foot to the floor and you can hold your foot to the floor, and you can't do that in this car. Um, this car is more like the 49 in that regards, or the Mustang, or the Gen 6 cars on road, or the Nationwide cars on road. It's a proper tin top. You've got to drive it like a tin top. But if you put in the time and you commit to it, you'll have great fun. Well, that looks like the race done. So that means I can stop boring you. Um, Sorry that you didn't get to see a live race, but again, if you go to our YouTube page, the live race from earlier on tonight, this race actually, should now have rendered and processed and all of that, so it should be up on the page. If not, there are some of the other ones from earlier on in the week. But yeah, if you subscribe to this Twitch as well, then if I race tomorrow morning's race, I don't think I will. I think I've had my fill of Oran Park. I love it, but even I think enough's enough. But when we've got the Spirit of ELN race coming up for the team as well, so what we'll do is the same way we've streamed this race, we'll stream our in-car from the VLN as well. So that should be fun. If you hit subscribe, then when we go live, you'll get a notification that a stream's on. So yeah, just hit us up on any of those social media pages and interact with other members of the team. And again, can't thank you enough for watching and putting up with me and chatting. It's nice to have someone in the chat that actually chats back. I'm not like any of those others who seem to be able to race and read the chat at the same time. I have no idea how they manage that. I can't manage that. But yep, it's been fun just reviewing this race. So good night all. I'm going to go to bed. It's now 2:30 in the morning. It's a good thing that it's almost Christmas, because otherwise I don't think I could have coped. So yeah, I'll see you all around.